Hello. All right, this is our windy season, spring and early summer, fall. Winter's kind of the non-windy period here in California in the US. All right, I wanted to talk about some possible good news. Yeah, and you know, I'm not talking about some little dinky good news. I'm talking about big news. In Iceland, there's been some scientific work done for years now on carbon capture. They've tried to put it underground in old fracking wells and in oil wells, and it just keeps going. It leaks out and it all ends up back in the atmosphere. And this has been going on for years. They've been having no luck at all. They tried to put it in sandstone, bury it in sand and so on, and it just leaks right back out. So what's different is that these scientists here have come up with something really unique. And what they do is they take water and CO2 and they pump it down into the basalt rock several thousand feet down into old lava rock. And as you know, well, you may not know this, but most rock on Earth is made of lava rock, porous rock that was volcanic. Especially the ocean floors are all volcanic, about 2 miles thick. So they found out how to solidify this carbon into this rock. And over a period of up to 2 years, it makes calcium and magnesium carbonates, which are like cement kind of stuff. And it's in all the porous parts of the rock. They've done this up to 220 tons of CO2 was pumped down into this test area, and then over years, then they went down and took core samples and brought them up, and they found that it had indeed done exactly what they were hoping it would do, and solidified, and that making it impossible for it to leak back up or leak anywhere. It's now rock. It's been turned into something else, which is good. There's a lot of negatives to it. Yeah, of course there would be negatives. There's negatives to everything you do. You have to study and realize that that's just the way that is. One of the problems is that it uses a tremendous amount of fresh water. And another problem is that they only have, out of the solution that is pumped down into the ground, it's only 5% carbon. So it's really inefficient. It uses up a ton of fossil fuel to do it, and it takes about 2 years for the process to take place, whereas in those 2 years you don't want it leaking back up. So some of it, of course, is going to come back up. So it's a really inefficient way of doing things, but it's the first real honest carbon capture, and it just started. You know, these are just experiments now. So this isn't looking too bad. It's good news, and you know, over in 10-12 years they may be able to figure out how to suck the carbon out of the atmosphere and send it down into the ground, especially underneath the oceans. What better place than down in that, into the floor bed of the ocean, right where it comes out in the continental rift, you know, where it comes up and out and spreads out into the continents. Anyway, they could do it right there, and it would be captured under the ocean seafloor for millions and millions of years before it ever got around to ever get onto the continents or any place else. So it's a pretty interesting idea. There's a lot of negatives about it. It has a long way to go, but it could possibly save the planet from boiling to death. Though they're going to have to put a lot of money and a lot of researchers into this. Maybe the fossil fuel industry will get the hint, huh? Put some money into this. Well, on my ride today, I thought I would show you something left over from the California drought here in the U.S. The West Coast drought has been going on for years. It hasn't quit. It's a lot less than it was because of the El Nino rains, especially up in the Northwest. They had record amounts of rain, which really helped. But now the rains, of course, stopped quite some time ago, and what I wanted to show you was the lasting effect of the drought. We've got jets flying over again. Be very afraid, people. Be very afraid, always, here in the U.S. So much money wasted on homeland security. So anyway, I wanted to show you what the lasting effect of drought is by looking at the trees. Let me show you. Lots of dead branches on the ones that are still alive. A lot of them, as you see on the top, have more dead branches, just unhealthy. The forest here in California is not doing too well. Here's another thing. Very high grass, because we got 3/4 of what we were supposed to this year in rainfall. And so the grass is really tall. But it's extremely hot. It's been really warm in places here in California all for the last month and a half, 2 months. And today it's supposed to get up to 102 in some places, even hotter in others. So I thought I'd go on a ride early and get ready for a heat wave. So at this time, let's go look at the CO2 count of today and what it was last year at this time. Alright guys, there's one little bit more of news, and that is Alaska has had its hottest winter ever. It was amazingly warm all over the state for most of the winter time. It was above normal temperatures, record-breaking hottest winter ever. As we know, there's still a lot of heat up in Canada, the far north. It's still quite warm up there as the fires continue to rage. And I appreciate all the comments and the ups and the downs and the new subscribers. And until next time.